Dear students, today we will talk about forest cover in Jammu and Kashmir. The main objectives of this lecture are forest cover assessment, status of forest cover in Jammu and Kashmir, circle-wise forest divisions, forest types of Jammu and Kashmir, species-wise forest cover, forest loss, threats to forest, and policy recommendations for preserving Jammu and Kashmir's forest. Dear students, first let's start with the introduction. The common idea of general public is that forests are just a collection of trees. However, forests are complex functional systems of interacting and interdependent biological, physical and chemical components. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization defines forests as land spanning more than 0.5 hectares with trees higher than 5 meters and a canopy cover of more than 10%. Forests constitute one of the largest and complex and most important natural ecosystems, mostly dominated by trees. These include very dense forest, moderately dense forest and open forest. In very dense forest, trees of various forms have 70 to 100% of the canopy cover. Moderately dense forests has canopy cover of 40% and more but less than 70%. And open forest formations are characterized by a canopy cover of at least 10% but less than 40%. Of course, trees are the most conspicuous component in forest ecosystems, but the wide variety of other life forms and the biotic components in different forest types are also important. The diverse assemblages of species within forest ecosystem shaped by environmental as well as anthropogenic variables are necessary to generate and support the fundamental ecological functions and resultant ecosystem services they provide. In mountainous regions such as Himalaya, many factors including slope, aspect, adapic factors, vegetation type and altitude determine the community composition, structure and distribution pattern of different forest types. The forest and forest-based resources possess priceless economic, ecological values being directly linked with agriculture, fodder, fuel, wood, timber and fruits. The local communities are directly or indirectly dependent on the forest ecosystems for their sustainable livelihood. Dear students, let us discuss forest cover assessment. In India, assessing forest cover involves a comprehensive approach that utilizes satellite imagery, ground surveys and geographic information system. The Forest Survey of India, an organization under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, is primarily responsible for conducting forest cover assessment. Forest Survey of India employs satellite data from sources like Indian remote sensing and utilizes advanced remote sensing techniques to analyze land cover changes over time. These satellite images are processed, distinguished between various land cover types including forest, non-forest areas and degraded lands. Ground truthing, which involves field visits to verify satellite-based findings, is also conducted to ensure the accuracy of assessment. Forest Survey of India employs a stratified sampling approach, dividing the country into grids and systematically sampling each grid to estimate forest cover at national, state and district levels. Geographic Information System technology is used to integrate satellite data, ground survey information and other spatial data sets for detailed analysis and visualization of forest cover trends. The assessment results provide valuable insights into forest extent distribution and change patterns, aiding policymakers in formulating effective forest conservation and management strategies. Moreover, the forest cover assessment in India is periodically updated to track changes over time and assess the impact of conservation initiatives, developmental activities on forest ecosystems. This continuous monitoring and assessment processes play a crucial role in sustainable forest management and biodiversity conservation efforts across the country. Now, status of forest cover in Jammu and Kashmir. India is known for its rich biodiversity and possesses vast forest regions. These forests covering approximately 24% of the country's geographical area play a pivotal role in maintaining ecological balance and mitigating the adverse impact of climate change. In India, there are 7,13,789 square kilometer of area under forest, which makes 21.71% of the total geographic area of the country. Jammu and Kashmir, a union territory in northern India with a total geographic area of 54,664 square kilometer. The state is renowned for its stunning landscapes, which includes lush green forests, snow-capped mountains and pristine rivers. Forest cover in Jammu and Kashmir is crucial not only for ecological balance but also for socio-economic well-being of the region. These forests are vital for maintaining biodiversity, regulating climate and supporting local livelihoods. Jammu and Kashmir possesses a diverse range of forests owing to its varied topography, climate and altitude. The total forest cover of region is 21,386 square kilometer. That is 47.80% of the area of the present Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which is generally higher than the forests and tree cover of 21.71% at the country level and above the national objectives of 33%. The very dense forests comprise 4,155 square kilometer. Moderately dense forest includes 8,116 square kilometer and open forest includes 9,115 square kilometer. Next is circle-wise forest divisions. Two geographical regions of Jammu and Kashmir UT includes Jammu division and Kashmir division. Jammu division has 3 forest circles including East Forest Circle, West Forest Circle and Chenab Forest Circle, making a total of 12,06,623 square kilometers. Similarly, Kashmir division has 3 circles including Srinagar Forest Circle, South Forest Circle and North Forest Circle. The total area of forest under Kashmir region is 8,12,830 hectares. Now, dear students, let us discuss forest type of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir has 6 types of forest, namely subtropical dry evergreen forests, subtropical broad-leaved forests, subtropical pine forests, Himalayan moist temperate forests, Himalayan dry temperate forests and subalpine forests. Subtropical dry evergreen forests. This forest type possesses evergreen trees and shrubs including thorny species. more than 75% of vegetation remain green throughout the year. The canopy cover is never without green foliage, normally growing in areas having prolonged hot and dry season. It generally has trees with shiny leaves that have a varnished look. Annual herbs and grasses are commonly seen during and after monsoon rains. Pinus roxburghi, that is cheer pine, is the top canopy tree species. Cassia, that is Indian laburnum, cocos, that is oak, form the first and second story in these forests. The soil type is mainly oxasols with red, yellow or grey color and less quantity of organic matter. This forest type occurs along an altitudinal range of 800 to 1800 meters above sea level, mostly found in Nowshera, Jammu and Rajouri forest divisions, particularly in Lamri, Sundarbani, Kalidar and Rajouri forest ranges. Subtropical broad-leaved forests. The vegetation of this type is a mixture of wet evergreen and temperate forests. These forests show a luxuriant growth of evergreen species and are rich in bamboos and creepers. In this forest type, broad-leaved tree species such as acacia and Indian ash tree form the top canopy. Cassia, sesame and Indian plum form the first and second story canopy. The soil, usually red and dry, but are moist for at least 90 days per year. Being limited to lower slopes of Jammu and Kashmir, these forests are restricted within an altitudinal range of 400 to 600 meters above sea level. They occur in Kuthwa and Jammu forest divisions, particularly in Kuthwa, Samba and Bahu forest ranges. Subtropical pine forests. The vegetation in this forest type has predominance of evergreen conifers, mostly pines, and is considerably influenced by periodic fires. The shrubs are few, climbers mostly absent, but the annual and bulbous herbs are quite common. Pinus roxburghi, that is cheer pine, forms the top canopy, whereas Cassia, Melotus philippinensis, that is kumkum tree, and Pyrus passia, that is wild Himalayan pear, form the understory canopy. The major portion of ground in these forests is covered by litter of pine needles, leaving a little chance for the growth of understory layer. The soil belongs to Torox, a suborder of oxasols. They are predominantly red and with little organic matter and high base saturation. In Jammu and Kashmir, this forest type occurs along an altitudinal range of 500 to 1600 meters above sea level, being mostly found in steep dry slopes in Jammu, Bilawar, Riyasi and Mahur forest divisions, particularly in Thakurkot, Jidra, Ramkot and Gulabgarh forest ranges. The conifers predominate in these forests with trees height ranging from 20 to 40 meters. These deciduous shrubs form the undergrowth cover. Mosses and ferns are abundant on branches of trees. Cedrus, that is Himalayan cedar, is the top canopy tree. Abies pendro, that is Himalayan fir, and Pinus walchiana, that is Himalayan pine, with a few broad-leaved tree species such as wild pear, oak form the first and second canopy respectively. The soil is mainly dark in color with low natural fertility. The humus is brown to black with a thickness of 1.5 to 2.5 centimeter. In Jammu and Kashmir, this forest type occurs along an altitudinal range of 1700 to 2100 meters above sea level, mostly found in Udhampur, Ramnagar and Bilawar forest divisions, particularly in Basantgarh and Bani forest ranges. These forests comprise a variety of pure and mixed stands of coniferous and broadleaved tree elements. The conifers dominate this forest type, with abundantly shrubby species forming the understory. Cedrus, that is Himalayan cedar, and Pinus volchiana, that is Himalayan pine, cover the top canopy in these forests. Abies pendro, that is Himalayan fir, Abies spectabilis, that is East Himalayan fir, Picea cynthiana, that is spruce, and Taxus volchiana, that is Himalayan yew, with a few broad-leaved species such as Acer caesium, that is Himalayan maple, Celtis australis, that is European nettle tree, and wild pear form the first and second canopy story. This soil has coarse texture and is usually acidic and infertile with reddish brown or black subsoil. The humus is black with a thickness of 2.5 to 3 centimeter. This forest type occurs along an altitudinal range of 1500 to 3000 meters above sea level. It is commonly found in Kamraj, Kahmil, Baramulla, Langate, Badgam, Anantnag, Lidar, Shupian, Tangmag and Bandipora forest divisions of Kashmir region. The regeneration in this forest type is relatively fast and it has a canopy cover of 65 to 80%. These forests comprise almost pure stands of Betula utilis, that is Himalayan birch, which occurs at high altitudes between 3000 and 3500 meters above sea level in subalpine zone. Abies pendro, that is Himalayan fir, Abies spectabilis and Betula utilis cover the top canopy in this forest type, with a few broad-leaved trees such as Acer caesium, that is Himalayan maple, and Prunus cornuta forming the second story canopy. The soil type is tending to be acidic and infertile with coarse texture, reddish brown or black subsoil. The humus is brown to black with a thickness of 1.5 to 3 centimeter. This forest type is common in Tangmarg, Kamraj, Lidar, Sindh, Shopian and Bandipora forest divisions. Now let us discuss species-wise forest cover. Out of total forest cover of 21,386 square kilometer, an area of 1,075 square kilometer is under Himalayan cedar, constituting 5.31% of the total forest area. 1,825 square kilometers are under pine, having 9.02% share. 1,969 square kilometers are under pinus, that is kale, which account for 9.74%. 3,401 square kilometers are under fir, representing 16.81%. Largest area of 10,075 square kilometers falls under other categories, having share of 49.8%. Thus, 18,342 square kilometers are under coniferous, that is softwood, and non-coniferous, that is hardwood, covers 1,885 square kilometers of total forest area. The state government has so far notified 15,912 square kilometers under protected area network, which is 15.59% of the total geographic area of the region, comprising 4 national parks, 14 wildlife sanctuaries and 16 conservation reserves. Next is forest loss. India has witnessed a highest spike in deforestation in the past 3 decades, with an exponential rise recorded between 2015 and 2020. According to Utility Bidder, a United Kingdom-based comparison site for energy and utility costs. During these years, the country was ranked second only after Brazil, with average deforestation of 6,68,400 hectares, while India lost 3,84,000 hectares of forest between 1990 and 2000. The figure rose to 6,68,400 hectares between 2015 and 2020, with a difference of 2,84,400 hectares in forestry loss between 1990 and 2020. India has seen the biggest increase in deforestation. What is equally concerning during this period are rising incidents of forest fires. According to Indian State of Forest Report 2021, forest fires threaten 35.46% of the country's forest cover. 2.81% are extremely vulnerable, 7.85% are very high vulnerable, and 11.51% are highly vulnerable. Over a period of 2 decades, that is from 2001 to 2022, Jammu and Kashmir lost 946 hectares of tree cover from fires. Most tree cover loss recorded due to fires was 2004, with 240 hectares lost to fires, 27% of all tree cover loss for that year. From the year 2001 to 2022, District Rajouri has the highest rate of tree cover loss due to fires, with an average of 9 hectare loss per year. Threats to forest. The massive industrialization, demand for urbanization, overexploitation of resources and population explosion have led not only to decline but also permanent loss of forest cover at an unprecedented level. Forests around the globe are cleared chiefly for agriculture, mining and developmental projects. Deforestation is one of the most significant challenges faced by Indian forests. While the state-wise condition of forests display a poor image, Jammu and Kashmir has been facing forest fires, deforestation and unsustainable urbanization, affecting forest lands and making the forested ecosystem fragile. Growing deforestation, unauthorized timber harvesting and land use change due to increased urbanization and agricultural expansion has encroached upon forest areas, leading to habitat fragmentation and a decline in forest cover. In fact, due to rising global temperatures, climate change is wreaking havoc globally. Forests of Jammu and Kashmir are vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including shifts in temperature, precipitation patterns, which can affect the distribution of plants and animal species. Jammu and Kashmir State Forest Policy 2010 reveals that the effects of the degradation of forests are already quite visible in the form of drying up of perennial water sources at many locations, more severe soil erosions, increase in flash floods, silting up of reservoirs, loss of biodiversity and reduced forest productivity. The new Forest Conservation Amendment Act of 2023 has loosened the restrictions of the original Central Act of 1980 to make it easier to divert forest areas for significant developmental projects, establishing key linear projects of national importance, and building infrastructure related to security. Prior to amendments in August 2019, Jammu and Kashmir had its own Forest Conservation Act of 1987, which contained relatively tight guidelines to limit the use of forest land for purposes other than those of forest. The Central Act of 1980 has repealed the law and taken its place. In the year 2022, Jammu and Kashmir has lost 19 hectares of natural forest, equivalent to 7.97 kiloton of carbon dioxide emissions over a period of 2 decades, that is from 2001 to 2022. Jammu and Kashmir lost 946 hectares of tree cover from fires. Most tree cover loss recorded due to fires was in 2004, with 240 hectares lost to fires, 27% of all tree cover loss for that year. From year 2001 to 2022, district Rajouri has the highest rate of tree cover loss due to fires, with an average of 9 hectares lost per year. Fires were responsible for 23% of tree cover loss in Jammu and Kashmir between 2001 and 2022. Now, dear students, the policy recommendations for preserving Jammu and Kashmir's forest. Safeguarding the forest of Jammu and Kashmir is paramount for biodiversity preservation, climate resilience, and the well-being of local communities. Here are key policy recommendations. Protect critical habitats and biodiversity. Comprehensive forest fire management. Reforestation and afforestation initiatives. Climate smart forest management. Sustainable ecotourism. Public-private partnerships. Disaster response plans. Education and awareness. Strengthen enforcement and customization, promote community-based management. Dear students, now let us conclude the lecture. Forests draw their importance from ecosystem goods and services that they supply. These goods and services have been perceived as free benefits by the society with virtually infinite potential, while the forest land has been seen as land readily available for conversion to other uses. Given the complexity of the society's demands for a wide range of goods and services from the forests, maintaining and restoring biodiversity in forests can promote the resilience of human-induced pressures. Given the complexity of society's demands for a wide range of goods and services from the forests, maintaining and restoring biodiversity in forests can promote their resilience to human-induced pressures. The future of Jammu and Kashmir's forests depend on continued and enhanced conservation efforts. A holistic approach that includes government policies, community participation, and technological innovations is essential for sustainable forest management. Ensuring the health of these forests is vital for the ecological balance, economic prosperity, and cultural heritage of the region. So, dear students, thank you all for joining today's lecture. I hope you found it informative and engaging.